Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally the things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this Sunday Stuff and Things, I have stuff and things to talk about, including upcoming videos, things you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and working, including the Padron 2000 burning stick, good made better products, Cringle Flake 2024, good stuff like that, another listening party. And then we are going to talk about, people were asking me about the bomb cyclone that hit the Northwest Washington area last week. A lot of people were worried, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. A pretty crazy weather event for around here. Talk a little bit about the constant barrage of product review requests I get. And then briefly, we'll talk about football because we had a crazy week of football last weekend and it was fantastic. And then of course, your questions, comments, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings. So let's get into it. All right, gang, so what can you look forward to on Stuff and Things and working? Well, this coming week, we will have the Padron 2000 Natural, and it's basically a burning stick that I don't think I ever did an actual full review, but I talked about it pretty extensively a few, well, like years and years ago, maybe 9 years ago, 8 years ago. And it was kind of my burning stick, the one that I liked the most. It was reasonably priced. I liked the flavor profile, but I hadn't had one in years. And I had been reviewing the Toscano ones, which one? Antigo? I can't remember which I reviewed now. God, it's only been a few weeks. Anyway, I liked those a lot. I liked the kind of pipe-like musty quality to them. So I was like, well, I still like the Padrones as much as I liked them back in the day. So I did a video on that, and sort of spoilers, they're still really good. And I think I still have about 6 in a little humidified container. So I'm looking forward to trying some more of those. We're going to be talking about Good Made Better, some cool products that I received from Dan. This is the Bookwarden, something I have been using extensively, and it's a way to keep your books from getting bent up when you throw them in a bag. So we'll be reviewing this product, and then the Penwell, which is here. It's stuck to my desk right now because it has suction on it, so I'm not going to get it up. But cool products, I'm going to show those to you. Then we're going to have the Cringle Flake 2024 video, something that might be a little poignant because we might not ever get another one of these, which is sad. And then we have a listening party for The Strokes' Is This It? Their debut album, one of my favorite albums of all time. I absolutely love this. We are trying another listening party. I don't know how many of these we're gonna do. Like I said, not very many people watched the first one. It was not available everywhere in the world. We'll see what happens with copyright and everything with this. I'm assuming it'll get copyright claimed, but whether or not they'll block it, I'm not sure. And we'll kind of go from there. If a lot of you have said you want to see more, but not very many people have you watched the first listening party. So we'll see. And then after that, working. We're supposed to have an episode this week, but we've been in this holding pattern with a big job that we're supposed to be starting. And I don't know if I'm gonna get something recorded and edited in time. We are digging this job this week. So whether or not we can actually start, I don't know, we'll see. We may have a week delay as far as the working episode, but we'll try to figure that out. And then, yeah, just lots more stuff coming up on both channels. Check it out. Where is this article? Okay, so I had several people ask me about this crazy weather event that we had in northwestern Washington recently. It was last Tuesday night. Short answer, nothing much happened in Bellingham. I mean, we had very strong winds, but there was no massive damage or anything, because people were asking me, like, are you okay? I heard people got killed. So let me just read you this article, or parts of this article from, I guess it's from Fox Weather by Scott Sistell, published on November 21st, 2024. Bomb cyclone slams Seattle area with fierce winds, leaving at least 2 dead, hundreds of thousands without power. The effects of a rapidly developing bomb cyclone slammed the Seattle area on Tuesday night, killing at least 2 people and knocking out power to hundreds of thousands of utility customers as ferocious winds toppled trees and power lines across western Washington. According to officials, a woman was killed in Bellevue when a tree fell into her home. And another woman was killed in Linwood when a tree fell onto an encampment. So I'm assuming maybe that was a homeless camp. Injuries have been reported, lots of, basically just from trees falling. Basically, I don't know if you've ever heard of a bomb cyclone before, but it's something that happens, that can happen off the northwest coast when the barometric pressure differential like changes so drastically that, well, here, I'll read about this, basically. Oh, well, first, listen to this. Wind gusts in the Cascade foothills just east of Seattle. So the Cascade Mountain Range is the mountain range that goes north to south in Washington and separates western Washington, which is only like a third of Washington, from eastern Washington. Wind gusts just east of Seattle reached over 70 miles per hour, fueled by a low-pressure crater or center that underwent explosive development in just hours as it swirled off the Washington coast. More than 700,000 people lost power across western Washington, over 100,000 in the city of Seattle. I know that the Seattle Seahawks practice facility was without power for a long time. A wind gust reached 74 miles per hour in the town of Enumclaw before the wind gauge went dark, along with the rest of the town. Easterly gusts reached over 60 miles per hour at SeaTac Airport, where the rare easterly winds brought pilots to challenging crosswinds to navigate runways aligned for the persistent southerly winds the region normally endures. So yeah, we normally get our winds north-south, and this came from the east because of the low pressure system that developed, sucked all this wind from eastern Washington, or all this air from eastern Washington. And so you have the mountains there, so it can't get through, but there are passes and there are gaps. And when it sucked through those passes, it was like highly compressed and just extremely powerful gusts. And then once it got over the, more open land in western Washington, it just swept through there east to west and created havoc. The storm was brought about by a historic storm that went from an innocuous low pressure trough to tying the strongest storm ever recorded in this part of the Pacific Ocean. Measurements showed the storm dropped 66 millibars in pressure in 24 hours. That's a lot of millibars. Eventually becoming a storm with a central pressure of 942 millibars. I have no idea what these numbers really mean, but they sound large. On par with a major Category 4 hurricane. So not necessarily the wind speeds, but the pressure of 942 millibars is on par with the Category 4 hurricane. It easily qualified for the title of bomb cyclone, given when a storm strengthens about 24 millibars in 24 hours. So the alignment of the storm due west of the Washington coast combined with cold, dense, higher pressure in eastern Washington that created a tremendous difference in pressure across the western half of the state. Wind from eastern Washington slammed into the barrier created by the Cascade Mountains, but gaps in the terrain along the mountain passes created breaks in the barrier, allowing winds to accelerate and shoot through the passes like a hole in a balloon. The winds pummeled towns nestled along the foothills that sit along the highways. And then as the east winds reached the western edges of the Cascades and broke free of their mountain captors, they raced across the Puget Sound lowlands, bringing rare easterly winds that caught off guard the forested landscapes, steeled to the more common southerly winds of the region. The result was widespread tree falls from north to south along the Puget Sound region. So yeah, we did have trees falling. My brother was talking about a local park, Whatcom Falls Park, where there were just trees down all over the place. And it is interesting when trees are growing in an environment and they develop a resistance to the persistent wind or to the prevailing winds. But then if they get hit from a different direction, it can mean that they don't necessarily have the strength to resist that. And also our ground has been so inundated with water lately. So we did have some trees falling and everything. I didn't hear about any major power outages. When I went to bed that night, I was like, oh, it's kind of windy. And I had my window open, and I think around like 1 in the morning, I was awoken by very loud winds. And so I like groggily shut my window. But I didn't even realize till the morning that we had had a crazy weather event. And we just got kind of the northern edge of it. It was mostly around Seattle. So we are safe. Look up some video footage or some pictures of it. It's pretty crazy weather event. We don't get hurricanes here, obviously, but we can have some very strong storms occasionally. So very briefly, I want to bring something up that's kind of weird. I get probably 5 to 6 emails a week asking me to review products. And I don't know if you guys realize this. I say no to pretty much everything. They are mostly from Chinese companies saying, and stuff that I think is sort of like a shotgun approach where they're just, spamming all these different people on YouTube and asking if they want to review their product, because so many of the products don't have anything to do with anything I'm interested in. Like, oh, we have a solar powered battery. Do you want to review this? It's for people going camping with their RVs. I'm like, well, no, I don't want to review it. It'll be, one of the recent ones I got was like desk furniture. You know, like an in-out bin for your office desk, or just weird stuff like that, or like, you know, those, what do you even call that? A desk set? Things like that, which maybe I might be interested in, maybe not. Things like iPhone cases, just all sorts of like cheap Chinese products. Things that I'm not interested in reviewing pretty much at all. So I mostly ignore those. But then I get stuff from, and I'm not saying that just because it's a Chinese company I don't want to review it. It's just their products that I don't necessarily want to review. And then I get lots of stuff from American companies. There are these companies that consolidate marketing or social media marketing for companies. There's a service called Kutoku, is that what it's called? One called AvantLink. And they have gotten in contact with me, and they represent companies like Chiso's Boots. I've done videos for Stanley, the tool company, the alpaca socks. They contact me. I did a video on alpaca socks before this company that represents them contacted me. And they're constantly sending me things like, well, this company that is represented by our group, would you like to review one of their products or one of these products? And I mostly don't. And I just wanted to update you on that, because I like showing you things that I think are cool. And I like it when it's something that I have decided is interesting and I want to pursue it and show it to you. But if there are just companies like, would you like this? Even if I might like it, what's my impetus for reviewing it on the channel other than, I mean, I guess there's some slight potential of getting commission on it if there's an affiliate link. Most of the stuff I review, there's no incentive with money, because I don't have an affiliate link. I wasn't paid for the review. It's just something that I bought, or maybe the product was provided for me to review, but it's not as though I get like a cut of sales or anything. There are some things, if there is an affiliate link, I will list it as an affiliate link. The Cordobe's boots recently, that was an affiliate link. So I think I would get like 10% commission if somebody bought those boots from that link. But most of the stuff I review isn't like that. But even if that's the case, I don't want this channel to be like, here, you must buy this product. I don't like that. And I don't want that to be the kind of videos I produce. So I will do reviews on products that I am interested in already, I guess. But for the most part, if someone is just like, here is this thing, do you want to review it on your channel? I'm probably going to say no. And I'm assuming that's cool with you guys. That's what you would like. If not, let me know. Like, if there are things that you want to see me review, let me know. But for the most part, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Let me know in the comments below what your opinion is. Like, is there a category of products that you would like to see me review? I don't want this to be just like, here's what you should buy this week. So yeah, product reviews, if I do them, will be things that I am personally interested in and think that you guys might like. All right, and briefly, we have to talk about football last weekend. It was amazing. Pretty much everything I wanted to happen happened. I wrote down some highlights here. The Seahawks won. They beat the 49ers, which was fantastic. I was getting really worried about the Seahawks this year, and I'm still reserving judgment. I know I predicted they would win the NFC West this year, but we'll see. We're not going to comment on that. But they were able to get to 5-5. They have now split with the 49ers. They play the Cardinals this weekend. This is a huge do-or-die game. If they can beat the Cardinals, they will be #1 in the NFC West. And then they actually have a good chance of winning the division. We'll see, but that was cool. And then the Bills won. I was really rooting for the Bills, and the Chiefs lost, which I'm always rooting against the Chiefs. The Jets lost. I'm always rooting against the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers beat the Ravens, which was really fun, but then they lost Thursday night, which wasn't very fun. But I'm always rooting for the Steelers over the Ravens. And then, the Bengals ended up losing. That was one thing I didn't want. But then I think the only negative was that the Rams won as well, so they're at 5-5. So we have 3 teams in the NFC West at 5-5. The Rams, the 49ers and the Seahawks. The Seahawks, are they above the 49ers? They're above the Rams for sure. And then we just have the Cardinals at 6-4 at the top of the division. So it's wide open still, kind of crazy. It was just a fun week where basically, usually it seems like every week, every team that I want to win does not. But this week, it was almost every team that I wanted to win or almost every team that I wanted to lose did so. And it was a lot of fun. It's fun. I like football. And it's the only sport I follow. And it's funny how one weekend, even though it has nothing to do with my life personally, it can just put me in a good mood if all these things kind of fall into place. Fun stuff. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag askstuffandthings. Remember, if you have a question or comment for me, you can tweet at SATBradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings. If you are a Patreon supporter, you can write to me via Patreon, go right to the front of the line. If you want to hit that super thanks button under this video, you can leave me a comment or question and go right to the front of the line, or you can leave questions, comments, and feedback under my YouTube videos in the comment section, just like Ricardo Gadel. Ricardo Gadelha, maybe? 5003 for last week's Sunday Stuff and Things said, if the portfolio is simplified, so talking about STG purchasing McFadin and Sutliff, or Sutliff through McFadin, and what's going to happen to all those blends. Hopefully the HH blends remain and the quality doesn't go down. Yeah, the HH blends are my favorite McFadin blends. This isn't an easy time to have Old Dark Fired as my second favorite blend ever. They are, I assume, McFadin's most popular blends, so hopefully STG will handle them decently. I don't know if they would be their most popular blends. I'm assuming they're their most kind of like critically acclaimed blends, but they have other blends that are probably more like mass market appeal, especially in the European theater, but I'm not sure. This is from @Dencohen. My last job, we went through 3 buyouts. Unfortunately, from those experiences, I wouldn't trust any info from STG about what will and will not be axed or changed. It's all about profit to the shareholders. So I did try to write, I forgot to print that out. Let me do this here. I tried to write Sutliff, and they responded with, where is it? Okay, so I said, this is Bradley from the YouTube channel Stuff and Things. I gave them the link to Stuff and Things. Recently, I've been inundated with messages from viewers wondering if I have any information about the future of Sutliff after the STG buyout. I'd love to be able to speak with someone at Sutliff who would be willing to fill us all in. Regards, Bradley Victor. And from info@Sutliff, I got, we have put out publicly all the information that we can. More information will come around the first of the year, Jeremy. So hopefully I will respond to this and ask for a contact. Because I want somebody at the company that I can talk to. And people, it's very weird to me. I don't want to complain about this too much because nobody owes me access to anything, obviously, but it's funny to me how some of these companies are still so old-fashioned with the way they deal with getting their information out. You know, all these other companies that have contacted me to help with their marketing, like, here, would you like this product? I know that you have reviewed things like this in the past. I was telling you about all these people who want me to review products, and I say no to most of them, but they understand that YouTube is a huge aspect of marketing for them. And especially, I think these pipe companies, they don't understand that the hobby is kind of sustained, or a large part of the hobby is sustained through YouTube. And so a channel that is pretty big in the whole YouTube realm of pipes, maybe you might want to have some sort of communication with that channel. But every company I've ever tried to write, Peterson, I think I've written Gawith, I've written a bunch of different companies, never gotten any response whatsoever. They don't respond. They don't care. And that's totally fine. But it would be to their benefit, I think, if they would respond, if they would get in contact with me, and if we could have some sort of communication or rapport. I had, obviously, I can't remember how SUTLIFF ended up getting my name and address to send me blends, but I've never had like communication with them. I've just received blends from them to review. So come on, pipe blenders, pipe makers out there, the big companies, maybe you don't think you need this, but I think it would be to your benefit to have some sort of relationship with a content maker on YouTube. It's just weird, they never respond. Next, we have at TXCrafts1. Sad year. It's rumored Stanwell closed their doors too, but I'm still trying to find some information. Yeah, I've heard weird rumors about that as well. Not sure. At Dan G1979, I hope STG blends Presbyterian. I love the flavor, but the McFadin version gives me bite. None of the STG teas bite me. That is a good point. I don't love STG as just this big conglomerate buying up all these brands, but as far as the blends they make, I like them. A lot of McFadin stuff I didn't love, but I did like their HH line quite a bit. So maybe if STG is blending some of these things, they will be good. I don't know. Next, at JDog0006. Does anyone remember what STG did to the Lane Limited lineup of blends? Try to buy a Lane Limited blend in a tin and you'll find out. Sad day for SUTLIFF and McFadin fans. Yeah. At Make Ross the Mad 9727, as long as STG doesn't get rid of the HH series, I'll be fine. Then again, I've still got 2 pounds of Bold Kentucky laying around. I feel bad for all you SPC enjoyers and aromatic Essers. Yeah, so that's another thing. I'd like to know what's going to happen to the SPC blends, the Seattle Pipe Club blends. Hopefully I can get some information from someone, and I'm sure more information will just start leaking out. It'll end up on forums and things like that. But yeah, we just have to kind of cross our fingers and see what's going to happen. As I got in that email, they said after the first of the year, we'll see. And then we have some feedback from the Pilot Custom 823 video that I did. This is from at the North Georgia Piper, I guess. GA is Georgia, right? Awesome pen. I have a Visconti Poseidon, Conklin Mark Twain, limited edition, and a Conklin Durograph. That was 40 bucks, and out of the 3, the Durograph takes the win for my daily pen. I use Parker Blue Black ink in it with a fine nib. Thank you, the North Georgia Piper. At Cranberries Lover said, great review, Bradley. Yep, it's definitely an amazing writing experience. If Pilot came out with a handful of new basic colors for the 823, the fountain pen world would explode. Also, loved the shooting style angles. It's uncommon in my experience, but works great. I would love a green version of this because I usually use green ink in this pen. So that would be cool. I mean, I'm not going to buy another one because they're expensive and I don't need one, but a green one would be cool. And then at Mr. Cross says, yes, I miss your fountain pen reviews. Your 8-23 review was one of the reviews I watched before I bought mine. I found you through fountain pens long, long ago and stayed for pipes and your amazing video game playthroughs. Love those. Yeah, about those. I just inked up my 823 over the weekend. Mine's been with me back and forth across the country so many times every year through TSA, jammed in my pocket in movie theaters or riding bikes. Love it so much, still my favorite fountain pen. This video brings so much nostalgia. Keep it up, young man. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much, at Mr. Cross. Glad to have you still here after all these years. Gang, thank you for all that feedback. Please keep it coming in, but now it is time for the very best part of the show. It is time where we thank our Patreon supporters. Remember, if you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. It's basically the only thing supporting this channel right now. So if you like the content on Stuff and Things or Working and you want it to continue, you could help out on Patreon. We're trying to get 100 $5 supporters. That would be absolutely fantastic. We are not anywhere near that right now. So if you feel any sort of urge in your heart to support the content on these channels, you can click that link in the description box below. But every week we shout out those who support the channels at $25 or more a month, the producers of Stuff and Things and Working. People like Glenn Dunnington, Jason Buckner, Arcturus, Ashes of the Phoenix, Jonathon Proctor, Charles Mowers, and the Friendly Piper. And of course, the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100, people who are also entitled to a FaceTime conversation. That is Bob Magee and Ryan McFadin. And if you support the channels, there aren't a ton of huge perks. It's mostly just expressing support, helping the channel out, but you do get access early to videos and ad-free. And of course, you can contact me through the Patreon. You could leave comments on the videos. I post all the videos on Patreon as well. Get a little community going there. But now, gang, I think that's it for this week. So much stuff coming up for you to consume, imbibe, take in on this channel. Like I said, we might be kind of late on working because it's just been weird. All the stuff that we were supposed to be doing this summer has been pushed into, it's now going to be the dead of winter when we're working on these really big jobs, which is going to be fun. But stay tuned for all the good stuff coming up. Until next time, until we meet again. Well, I'm really filling the frame here. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a Sunday Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.